Using sinking funds has been a complete game changer in our finances. Hey everybody, and welcome back to Lining Up Ducks. I'm going to talk to you about our 2020 sinking funds. And yes, I do get this excited about sinking funds. No, I am not super weird, but this is absolutely part of what has completely changed our financial picture. Okay, so for those of you that don't know, all a sinking fund is planned savings. So this, for example, this is our school supplies envelope that we save all year long for the school supplies that are coming around in August. We know that they're going to happen every single August, and this sinking fund keeps it from being a large dent in our budget that really kind of throws us for a loop during the month of August.
Okay, I'm going to write down my sinking funds and then on my charts, and then I'm going to go through and tell you how I came up with some of those numbers, because I know for me, especially when I was setting my very first family budget, coming up with some of those numbers was something that I actually searched out and to try and figure out what other people budgeted. Okay, so our first is going to be home repairs. So our home repairs budget is originally $2,600, which is about $100 a pay period. We may have a much larger repair bill than we're thinking. So right now we're going to look at $2,600. And with 160 squares, each square would be about, let's say $17. Well, let's say 16. So each square is $16. All right, next we're going to have car repairs. And right now the goal for that is $1,300. So that would be roughly $8 per brick. The next one on the last one on this page is going to be Christmas. And our Christmas budget for the year is $1,200. Now keep in mind, we do have 4 children, so that's why our Christmas budget is a little higher. Let's go ahead and just say 8 per brick again for that one. Okay, so we're going to do just our regular gift budget there. So that's anniversaries, Christmas, birthdays, that kind of stuff. We have an annual budget of $520 for that, and there are 93 honeycombs, so 520 divided by 93 gives us, we're going to say $6 per honeycomb. Next is our car tags. So our car/RV tags. And then I'm putting our RV insurance in this one as well. If I flip back over to our irregular expenses, I'm going to add those up. So our RV tag is $250 for the year. Our RV insurance is $640. One tag is $50 and the other tag is $160. So we have $1,100 for the goal amount. And I will probably keep this as one sinking fund this year. 93 honeycombs, we're going to do $12 per honeycomb. And then last one on this page is our vet bills. Are going to, with just shots and just in case as far as if she gets sick, and then, maybe a boarding, for here and there. That's going to be roughly $520 for the year is our guess. And since it's the same as that, I don't have to add it up again. I saved the puzzle pieces for our kids because I thought it was super cute for the kids stuff. So first we have kids' clothes. Now, last year we put all of their Christmas money towards the kids' clothes from previous, they had received some Christmas money and then some birthday money. So we put that all in the kids' clothes budget this last year. And I don't know if we're going to do that again this year or not, but it is really convenient that I have 4 girls so I can pass down clothes. But this year, with us having a smaller space, I have purged a lot more than I normally do. And in addition, their clothes are getting pretty worn because they've been through several kids. And they are playing so hard outside in the clothes that we have because of where we are now that I'm going to have to replace a lot more clothes this year than I normally would. We're actually upping our kids' clothes budget this year to $960. It was $600 last year, and that really wasn't enough. We had a couple of growth spurts last year, especially in shoes, and so that was definitely not enough. We have $960, and there are 48 of the puzzle pieces. So that's $20 a puzzle piece. Ooh, that worked out good. And then the next thing for the kids would be their swim lessons that they have every year. And let's see, let's flip back over here to the irregular expenses. And that is $100 registration fee plus $185. So it's $285 for the year. So each puzzle piece is going to be about $6. And last but definitely not least are the kids' school fees and school supplies. And I guess you could keep those separate if you wanted to, but I'm going to go ahead and just kind of lump them all in together since it's all school stuff. Okay, so adding everything up, their registration fees are going to be $400. Their book fees are $670, and then their school supplies are $150. And then I probably need to add in there a good, let's see, they don't nickel and dime us at their school, which is really, really great. But occasionally there's a $5 thing here or there. So I think I'm going to round this to a even $1,400 just in case. And that way maybe I can do teacher gifts this year instead of, I haven't done teacher gifts in many, many years, but they have some fantastic teachers. So let's do an even $1,400, and then that is 48 squares. So that's going to be about $29 a square. These will go up on our finance wall with the savings chart that we have for land and for Sophie's medical expenses. Let me show you exactly how I come up with the more obscure sinking funds, like the things that don't have an actual amount due on them. I would suggest you have a subscriptions sinking fund as well. All right, so let's talk about Christmas. Everybody's big. What do we spend on Christmas? We decided this year that we're going to have to up our kids' budget a little bit. I have always done $100 each for each of our 4 kids, and that included Santa and gifts from us, and then also stockings. And that has gotten harder to stick to as they've gotten older. Now, Mary Claire, I can still stick to that budget, and kind of with Sophie, I can still stick to that budget. But the 2 older girls, the things that they're asking for are getting a little bit more expensive, and we don't go crazy at Christmas. Our kids get 3 gifts from Santa, and then they get either, they get probably between 3 and 5 from us. It just depends on how much clothes. I always include clothes in their Christmas. So, and we were talking about going to $150 per kid, but I don't think that's going to be necessary for the younger ones yet. So we're going to do 150, and then maybe $125 for Sophie, and then still $100 for Mary Claire. And so that's going to be $525 just for their gifts. And then I'm going to do a wholly separate stockings for $100. So I stuffed all 4 of the kids' stockings for about $20 a piece. And they are stuffed full, and it is our kids' absolutely favorite part of Christmas morning, and is their stockings. So if you're interested in seeing that next year, how I stuff their stockings, let me know, and I will film a video about it. Scott and I usually get about $50 in gifts a piece, 50 to 100, and then we have extra family. Now, I always suggest that you list out each individual person that you have to buy for and have a budget set for them. We have games that we play on one side of our family, so that's like a $25 per adult. We budget for parties, and then our kids' parties, our kids' school parties, those are about $5 to $10 a piece. So I would say, let's say $40 for the kids' parties. We also always budget for extra food and then extra gasoline around that time. Okay, sorry for the change, but Scott came in and stole his phone back. So let's say an extra $100 for food, an extra $50 for gas. And hello, I forgot I have an amazing sister-in-law. So this is actually supposed to be $90 instead of $60. And then I still buy for my grandmother as well. It's actually about anywhere from $30 to $50. So let's just say $30 because that's about what I spent last year and the year before. I usually budget extra food money because I know Christmas is just an insane amount of time. So I usually budget a little bit of extra restaurant money because I'll be out of the house shopping and things like that. So I usually budget an extra, $50 or $100 for extra restaurant money, and we can just kind of consider that oops money as well. So if I forget somebody on the list or something like that. So that's kind of how we do our Christmas budget. So let's add that up. So it looks like we're going to need $1,500 for Christmas this year instead of the $1,200 that I had budgeted. So I'm going to It's going to be $14.95, so I'll just say an even $1,500. So in looking at the budget that we have for the whole year and kind of everything that we have going on as far as spending goes this year and savings, it is going to be next to impossible for us to it's pretty much not going to happen to raise the Christmas budget by $300. So I think what we're going to do instead is focus on handmade gifts for our extended family and cut those budgets down and really kind of do a lot of saving when it comes to other areas of Christmas. That's just kind of how we make our Christmas budget. But right now our budget is set at $1,200, and I just don't see that that's going to be able to change because we've just got so much else going on right now. And I may have to have those really tough conversations about buying presents for extended family that nobody likes to have. Let's talk about car repairs. Car repairs, we have 2 older vehicles. So we are looking at, mine's not too old, but, I drive a lot. So I've got like 75,000 miles on mine. Scott's got 150, I think, on his. Between the 2 cars, we're looking at probably 6 oil changes a year. We used to have Scott do the car maintenance, but he just does not have time with the extra class that he's in. So those run us about $45 each. And that is, times 6, that's roughly $270. And then I'm going to need a new set of tires this year, and that's going to run us about $600. In addition to that, we'll probably need 1 tune-up because I'll probably run over 100,000 miles this year. So let's say $200 for that. And then we have a miscellaneous, because you just never know what's going to break on a car. So let's see what we have here. So it's $270 plus $600 plus $200. So that's $1,070. That gives us $130 for kind of a miscellaneous oops. And I may have overestimated for the tires, but we'll need rotations and things like that as well. I'm planning on buying my tires at a place that includes tire rotations, or they're very inexpensive and we can buy it at the same time for lifetime rotate, align, and balance. And so let's say $130 there, and that gives us a $1,200 budget for cars this year. And school supplies. Okay, so I think that's pretty much it, other than like birthdays and anniversaries and stuff. So that, like I said, that's done pretty much the same way as our Christmas budget. Let me know in the description box below what you save for in your sinking funds. I am always super interested how other people do their budgets. Do you put your extra food money for the Christmas season in your Christmas budget, or do you put it in your food budget? Do you put your parties and things like that for Christmas into a totally like an entertainment budget, or do you put it in your Christmas budget? So we have a very almost non-existent entertainment budget, so I kind of include it in the particular holiday that we're preparing for. All right, so let me break this down for you in a couple of examples that you may see in your own budget. So let's say Christmas, for example. Let's say we're going to save for this $1,500 of Christmas all year long. So we have $1,500, and then we have, and then there are 26 pay periods in the year. Now, we might not want to save for the entire year because, our last pay period of the year is the 29th, which is after Christmas. Now, the types of sinking funds that you see are sinking funds that have a date, like kind of what I call date certain sinking funds, and then perpetual sinking funds, which are sinking funds that you pretty much save for all year long, no matter when the expense is. And Christmas is one of those for us. We pretty much continuously save for Christmas, no matter what pay period we're in and where Christmas falls in the month. So you could do it like that, because I split ours up by 26 pay periods because I know I'm going to have 26 pay periods till the next Christmas. But if you want to save for it, this year I'm not doing it that way because I'm going to save, for half of the year. So I'll show you that. Or if you want to, be finished with your Christmas budget by October. So what you would want to do, so let's say you want to be finished stocking your Christmas budget by October, the end of October. So you would count the number of pay periods that you have, which is why I also love this pay dates. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22 pay periods from January to October. So that would be 22. So you would take this $1,500 and you would divide it by 22. So that would give you, if you wanted to save every single pay period, you wanted to save $1,500 and you'd be done with your Christmas budget, you would need to save roughly $68 per pay period. All right, and let's look at car repairs. So car repairs is another one of those perpetual savings envelopes. So you take the same, you would do the same thing. We save every single month for car repairs, every single pay period for car repairs, or if we're front loading or something like that. But we try to save every month for car repairs. So that would be $1,200. And then this one I would divide by 26 pay periods because I'm pretty much saving for it all year long, no matter what. So 1,200 divided by 26 is roughly $46 per pay period. If we wanted to round that up to an even $50 per pay period, that would bring us to $1,300 and it would give us a little bit more of a miscellaneous. So I probably will do that this year. I'm going to round that up to $50 per pay period. All right, now let's look at something else that has a date certain. So I know I have got to do the girls' swim. I've got to have all of the money saved for the girls' swim lessons by the beginning of June. So really the last pay period in May. So their swim lessons, I'll take our irregular pay planner and look up their swim lessons are $100 and then $185. So that's $285. So swim lessons, we're going to do this in detail on the annual financial plan, which is going to be in the next video, but I'm just kind of giving you kind of preview of how to do your sinking funds if you don't happen to catch that other video. So we have $285, and let's count how many pay periods we have till the end of May. 11 pay periods to the end of May. So we would need to save $26 per pay period. So we would divide it by 11, and that gives us $26 per pay period. That is if we're saving every single pay period for that. Okay, that's kind of the general principle that you would need to apply. I mentioned in the preview that I'm going to do our sinking funds different this year. Last year, I had pretty much every single sinking fund, every single budget. Honestly, there's not going to be enough money in our month to do that this time. Because we have those extra paychecks in the year with the two being paid every 2 weeks, I'm going to kind of front load certain expenses. I'm going to look at our irregular expense chart and I'm going to front load the first, and what I mean by front load is I'm going to put more money in the sinking funds that are due at the first half of the year starting off. But I probably won't start working on Christmas this year until July, just because we just have a lot of expenses this year that we're going to have to plan for. So instead of seeing me put the same amount every single pay period in each sinking fund like I did last year, which is a really great way to do it, I'm going to be putting larger chunks in different sinking funds each pay period.
All right, everybody, please tell me in the comments below what sinking funds you have planned for 2021. There's a knock, knock, knock on the door. That lasted 3 minutes. All right, so that lasted 3 minutes, and I have a little helper who has drawn all over her face. Welcome to my messy mom life. But thank you so much for watching our 2020 Sinking Funds video. I hope this was super helpful for you. As always, y'all are an incredible blessing to us, and it's a blessing to have you in our homes and in our lives. Thank you so much for watching, and I can't wait to finish out this budget series, and I am so excited for 2021 to start. Can you say Happy New Year? See you next time.